Just look at this transformation. One person, two completely different lives. That's the power of losing body fat. And if you're watching this, chances are you've imagined what your life would look like if you could do the same. But here's the frustrating part. You've probably tried eating less, doing more cardio, maybe even starving yourself, and that stubborn belly is still there. Because fat loss isn't about trying harder, it's about avoiding the mistakes that secretly slow it down. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes causes people to lose muscle instead of fat, but not much leaner. So in this video, I'm revealing 4 biggest fat loss mistakes and showing you how they all fit together into one plan that actually works. How fat loss actually works. So how does your body actually burn fat? Most people think fat somehow just disappears after enough workouts, but that's not how it works. Your body only burns fat when it needs more energy than it's getting from food. Think of it like this. Every time you eat, your body uses those calories as its first source of fuel. But when those calories aren't enough, either because you're eating less or moving more, it has to find energy somewhere else. That's when it turns to your stored body fat. Your fat cells release that stored energy, your body uses it as fuel, and over time, those fat stores shrink. That's fat loss in its simplest form. So yes, losing fat really is about creating an energy deficit. Sounds simple, right? Then why do so many people work incredibly hard and still can't lose their belly? Now here's the mistake. Most people think the answer is doing more cardio, running harder, sweating more. But by the end of this video, you'll see why one of the easiest forms of exercise beats that approach for almost everyone. First, we need to understand why almost everyone is attacking fat loss the wrong way. Mistake 1. Thinking belly fat is different from every other fat. Your belly fat follows the exact same rules as every other fat in your body. The difference is that your body protects it much more aggressively. Think of your body fat like a series of vaults. Some vaults have 1 lock. Your belly, it has 3. The reason comes down to 3 things. First, genetics. Just like you inherit your eye color or your height, you also inherit where your body prefers to store fat. For most men, that's the belly. For many women, it's the hips and thighs. Second, blood flow. Your belly naturally receives less blood than areas like your arms or face, so fewer fat-burning signals reach it. It's like trying to empty a swimming pool through a tiny pipe instead of a fire hose. And finally, tiny receptors on your fat cells. Think of them like traffic lights. Some are green lights called beta receptors. They tell your body, go ahead, burn this fat. Others are red lights called alpha receptors. They tell your body, not yet, hold on to it. Unfortunately, your belly has far more red light than green ones. That's why your face and arms get lean first, but your belly seems like it's refusing to cooperate. So the problem isn't that belly fat is impossible to lose. It's that your body makes you work a little harder to access it, and that misunderstanding leads people straight into the next mistake. Mistake 2. Trying to burn belly fat with ab workout. People think, if the fat is on my stomach, I should train my stomach. Makes sense, but that's not how fat loss works. Every crunch, sit-up, or ab workout strengthens the muscles underneath the fat. It doesn't tell your body where to burn fat from. Your body always decides that on its own, based on genetics, blood flow, and those locks we just talked about. So yes, build your abs, but don't expect them to magically melt the fat covering them. So if hundreds of crunches aren't the answer, then what's actually the fastest way to lose belly fat? Let's talk about the biggest misconception of them all. Mistake 3. Believing harder workouts automatically mean faster fat loss. Most people think the harder the workout, the faster the fat loss, which sounds logical. After all, running leaves you exhausted, drenched in sweat, and burns more calories than walking. So it must be better, right? Not necessarily. Here's why. When you do high-intensity workouts like sprinting and running, your body needs energy fast. So instead of reaching straight for body fat, it mainly burns glycogen, the stored carbs in your muscles and liver, because they're much quicker to use. On top of that, those intense workouts make you hungrier, leave you more fatigued, and for most people, they're simply impossible to stick with. And that's the part almost nobody talks about. Fat loss isn't won by the workout that burns the most calories today. It's won by the workout you'll still be doing 3 months from now. Because the best fat loss plan isn't the hardest one. It's the one you can repeat consistently and integrate it into your lifestyle. And the exact same thing applies to your diet. No matter how good your workout are, if you're not consistently in a calorie deficit, your body simply has no reason to tap into those stored fat. And everybody knows they need a calorie deficit, but are they really into the deficit? No, they're don't. And that's exactly why most people never stay lean long enough to look aesthetic. And that's exactly why so many people end up making one final mistake. Mistake 4, losing weight instead of losing fat. And here's the final mistake. People become obsessed with losing weight instead of losing fat. So they slash their calories, skip meals, and spend hours doing cardio. The number on the scale starts dropping. They think it's working, but then they look in the mirror and somehow they still don't have the body they wanted. Here's why. Your body doesn't just see a calorie deficit, it sees a survival problem. And when food becomes scarce, it starts asking a simple question: what can I get rid of to save energy? If you're not lifting weights and you're not eating enough protein, your body assumes those muscles aren't being used anymore. Muscle is expensive to maintain. It needs calories every single day. Fat doesn't. Fat is simply stored energy for emergencies. So your body protects the fat and starts breaking down muscle instead. That's why some people lose 10 kilos, yet barely look any leaner. They lost weight, but they also lost the very thing that gives their body shape. This is why the goal should never be to lose weight. The goal is to lose fat while keeping your muscle. So if endless crunches aren't the answer, if sprinting until you're exhausted isn't the answer, and crash dieting isn't the answer, then what actually is? The answer isn't working harder. It's choosing a method your body can actually sustain. And it starts with one of the simplest habits you can build: walking. Not because it burns more calories than running. It doesn't. It works because it's the easiest way to burn fat consistently without burning yourself out. Here's why. When you do high-intensity workouts, your body needs energy immediately. So it mainly burns stored carbs because they're the fastest fuel available. But when you walk at a pace where you can still hold a conversation, what's called zone 2, your body has enough oxygen to rely much more on stored fat for energy. And because walking doesn't completely exhaust you, you can repeat it every single day. That's what makes it powerful. Now here's how to do it. Instead of saving all your steps for one long walk, walk for 10 to 15 minutes after every meal. After eating, your blood sugar naturally rises. A short walk helps your muscles use more of that glucose immediately, instead of letting you sit still right after eating. Do that after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you've already accumulated 30 to 45 minutes of effortless cardio without setting aside extra time for the gym. Then simply aim for around 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. Not because that number is magical, but because it's enough daily movement to keep your calorie burn high while staying easy enough to repeat tomorrow. Now remember that mistake we talked about earlier, losing muscle instead of fat? This is where strength training comes in. Walking helps create the calorie deficit. Strength training tells your body, these muscles are still important. Don't burn them. You don't need to live in the gym. Just 2 to 3 full body sessions a week, built around compound exercises like squats, rows, presses, and deadlifts are enough for most people to preserve muscle while the fat comes off. That's how you lose fat without looking smaller. And don't stop there. Increase your NEAT, your non-exercise movement. Walk while you're on phone calls. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. These tiny habits barely feel like exercise, but together they can burn hundreds of extra calories every week. And if you want even faster result, I would highly suggest to add 2 or 3 incline walks each week. You'll increase the intensity without the impact of running. Just one rule: don't hold the handrails. If you have to hold on, lower the incline. You'll get far more out of good form than pretending you're climbing Mount Everest. Because remember, the goal isn't to find the hardest workout. It's to build a system you can repeat long enough for your body to actually change.